Tom Hiddleston, hello sir.
Hello, sir.
From The Hollow Crown, which was probably my favourite ever TV production.
Wow.
Ever.
Thank you so much.
It's unbelievable. This isn't about that, but that's just an unbelievable piece of work.
I really appreciate it.
To the most blockbustery of blockbusters. Doesn't this, I don't know, block some busts, bust some blocks? I don't know what the term would be. Kong Skull Island. It feels like a film for like movie fans. Like,
right, yeah.
sort of sprinkled with homages and references to the cinema greats like Apocalypse Now, Platoon, Predator, Journey to the Centre of the Earth. That's how it felt from the audience perspective, from mine. How about yourself as a star and as a film fan? Was it kind of indulgent in that way?
Well, when Jordan Vogt-Roberts asked me to, he sort of pitched his idea of the film to me, he said, I want to make a film which resembles the films we loved as children. We're about the same age. And he talked about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Jurassic Park, and the idea of the 70s as being this rock and roll era, which was an interesting time because there was huge social and political change. And it seemed that I'd never conceived as Kong in that context at all.
It doesn't surprise me really because Jordan obviously directed Kings of Summer.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I thought, this is a guy that appreciated Stand By Me as much as I did.
Yeah.
In the film itself, we see Kong in his own environment for longer than you see him in any other imagining, I guess, of him. There's also, it feels like there's a nod when he rips off the chains during the movie. It feels like a nod to previous incarnations where they've chained him up and taken him somewhere else. He casts that aside.
Yeah.
But to create this world, you had to go to a lot of places, all over the planet, not exactly conducive to easy filming. What sort of challenges did that throw your way, you and the cast in general?
We actually just felt so lucky because there's a version of this film which could have been shot on a soundstage, in a studio, surrounded by green screen.
It was made in 2005, yeah.
a few pot plants here and there.
Yeah.
But Jordan insisted that we go to Hawaii and Vietnam and Australia, where there are real rainforests and snakes and spiders and at least sunshine, wind, heat, rain, mud, swamps, all those things which made us feel like we were on a desert island. And the only thing we had to imagine was Kong and the other monsters. Probably the greatest challenge is not for me or for any actor, but for the producer, who has a crew of a few hundred people to feed when an army marches on its stomach.
So
just getting some food hot on the plate every day. For
the insurance alone for the cast and the crew would have been a nightmare for this.
Right.
I want to touch on the incredible cast you have. It's almost like a nerdy cast in a way. There's something like brilliant small films like Emil and the Dying Girl and things.
Thomas Mann.
Just incredible little movies that all this cast have been pulled from. Your chemistry with Brie is brilliant. But no matter how successful and beautiful she is, were you punching the air when you saw there'd be no romance? It feels like there's more point of the relationship with you because it's not a kind of cliche romantic story.
Well, she and I were very keen. When did we first meet? We met about 6 or 7 months before we started filming, and we talked a lot. The script was still developing, which is always a good thing, I think. And we both agreed that people had seen that, and it was uninteresting, and it would have felt shoehorned into this film where it didn't belong. And actually their connection is one of mutual respect, is that they're both, my character Conrad is a former soldier who's suspicious of the motives about this expedition. She's an anti-war photographer who's an iconoclast, both of them questioning the status quo, and that's how they connect. But at the same time, she makes him shuffle along when they have to get into the helicopters because she wants to sit on that side, and I love that sort of the wit of two people who respect each other.
Well, it's great chemistry. It's a great movie. I want to finish very quickly on sport, which is a little left field.
Okay.
We do a show for the Premier League, and we've decided, instead of talking to pundits, let's talk to the cast of Kong Skull Island for some score predictions. So I'm going to give you two. You're a Rangers fan, I believe, so you've not seen too much of the Premier League this year.
I have not.
But you can give some guesses for us.
I don't know about, did I ever say I was a Rangers fan?
I don't know. I think it just pops up in those interviews. It's like, oh yeah, Tom Hiddleston is a Rangers fan. Don't know where it would have come from.
I think it's a fiction, but we can go with it if you want.
Speaking speaking of these two fixtures, I've got Man United versus Bournemouth. Now,
Okay.
Bournemouth, they've
When's
had a
that? Is that a
decent
real
season.
fixture coming up?
That's a genuine fixture this
When?
weekend.
This weekend?
This weekend.
FA Cup?
No, this is League.
League?
In the Premier League, who do you think is going to take it from Man United versus Bournemouth? Give us a score prediction.
Are you actually joking?
I'm not joking. I've asked John C. Riley, he was nonplussed, but we got there. Samuel Jackson, he's giving me some predictions. I think John C. said 16-10 in the Chelsea game, which was ambitious. So let's keep it realistic. Man United versus Bournemouth.
Oof.
Bit of a resurgence from United at the moment.
I'd like to see an underdog take it, but I feel the resurgence is going to prevail. So I might say 2-0 Man U.
2-0, sounds realistic.
Yeah,
and
sorry,
finally,
Bournemouth.
Hull with midfielder Tom Huddleston.
Tom Huddleston.
You guys must be confused all the time.
I've never met him.
You guys should get together. He's had a good season. He scored and everything.
Yeah, I remember that.
Versus Leicester. Recently got rid of the manager. Great performance against Liverpool. Bit shady. What do we think? Hull versus Leicester.
To be clear, I'm now going to literally pull an answer out of the hat. With my apologies to Hull Football Club and Leicester.
Don Hutchinson and Leroy in the studio do that all the time, so this is no different. What do you think?
Well, Tom Hiddleston, who is, I feel like, is my namesake, at least with one vowel, which is the same. I've got to go with Hull, haven't I? Hull are going to take it.
Goal from Huddleston.
A goal from Huddleston in the 89th minute.
It would be great to see.
A huge moment of triumph.
1-0 then, we thinking?
1-0 Huddleston, 89th minute.
Thank you very much, Tom Hiddleston. Thank you very much, Beck. Brilliant.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Oh my God! Sorry. Hey!
Zane's got a great voice.
I'll just leave it at that.
I've wanted to meet you. We haven't met each other yet.
Got some lipstick on your teeth.